Hello YouTube, and welcome to the last video in the series for this year of the monthly stats. This is obviously for December, and I think this will probably be the last one of these videos that I do in this kind of format. I've got a different format planned for next year that will provide maybe more useful information, or certainly information that people might be more interested in. So this will probably be the last one in this format, and next year I'll try and do something a bit different. So December stats. Let's have a look at the numbers. We generated a total of 211 kilowatt hours in December. We imported a total of 1.1 megawatt hours in December, and this is broadly in line with the fact that we use just over a megawatt hour a month, it seems. So the fact that we only got 200 kilowatt hours or so from the solar means the rest is going to have to come from the grid. Our best day was on the 8th of December, and on that day we generated 19 kilowatt hours of electricity. And here is a graph of that day, and this is a quintessentially cloudless day graph. There isn't even a speck anywhere really on there to indicate that a cloud went past. But you can see how strange the shape of the graph is at this time of year, and this is because the wall-mounted panels are now in shadow from my neighbour's house because the sun is so low up until about midday, and then the sun clears their house and shines directly on the panels, and suddenly I get this huge ramp up in power almost straight away from, what did it go from, around 130 watts. It suddenly shoots up to 1.2 kilowatts. So you suddenly get like a kilowatt more in a matter of a few seconds, or a few minutes. So and that obviously gives you this weird sort of sudden blip in what would otherwise be a nice smooth curve, and then you get another jump again about here where it suddenly jumps up a bit more. So there's obviously still a panel in shade, and eventually that comes out of shading and can start contributing to the whole. But the roof-mounted panels is just a nice smooth curve. The blue and the red ones there, they're both on my roof. And then the shed is obviously getting a little bit, and then it gets nothing, and then it gets another little bit just there. And that again is due to tree shading just to the side of the shed here. And when the sun just gets in the right position, it can sort of get round them, and we get a little bit of generation. But the shortest day has passed, so the sun will start to rise up in the sky again now, and it won't be long before these shadows are disappear from the panels entirely, and I'll start getting much better generation again. It probably only take about a month, and probably by the end of January I'll be getting really good power generation again from the wall panels and from the shed. Our worst day was on the 12th of December, and on that day we generated just 0.1 kilowatt hours, so that's 100 watt hours, which is truly pathetic. Here's the graph for that day, and I mean, I might as well have just not had them even switched on, because it barely even registers. Really wouldn't have had hardly any effect at all. Maybe it would have been enough to keep the fridge running or something, but that would be about it. So terrible day. Let's now look at the pie chart, which breaks down the generated electricity by inverter, so we can see where it came from, and we can see here that 20% of it comes from my wall mounted panels, 14% is coming from the 1 kilowatt array on my main roof, and 63% of it is coming from the 5 kilowatt array on my main roof. And just a small amount is coming from my shed. What did we get there? Nearly 6%. No, that's 6 kilowatt hours. Nearly 3% is coming from the shed. So it's not contributing very much at all at the moment, but we do get a little trickle into the batteries behind me here. It all helps. Here is the pie chart that shows of the power that we generated, how much we managed to use ourselves and how much we had to export. Now I usually like this figure to be around 95% self-use, and we can see that in this pie chart we're pretty close to that, 94%, and just 6% of the power was exported. So in real terms, what is that? 12 kilowatt hours we exported, and we managed to use 199 of the 211 kilowatt hours that we generated. So that's pretty good. I did have a chance to have a look at my software to try and fix some of the problems that it had been having, that I had inadvertently introduced. I really haven't spent as much time on it as I should have. I need to do some serious rework on some parts of it, but I did manage to solve a couple of the issues that had been plaguing it, so these figures should be a little bit better than they had been in past months, but I really do need to have some proper time to devote to just like reworking it entirely, and putting in place a proper set of regression tests, so that when I do make modifications to add some new functionality, I can verify that I haven't broken something that used to work, because that is where most of my bugs are coming from. I'm introducing them when I add new functionality, and it's my own fault. I should have written a full set of regression tests when I wrote the software, but it initially started out as just a small project, and it grew from there and became something more serious. But really, I need to do a proper rewrite. So now let's look at the pie chart that shows the energy mix for the month. This shows basically of the electricity we used in the house, where it came from. So we can see that nearly 80% of it was from the grid, which was the cheap rate grid. So that was between midnight and 4:30 in the morning, when it's only 7.5 pence a kilowatt hour. This is on the Octopus Go tariff. Check out my link in the show notes if you're interested in joining Octopus. If you use my referral code, we'll both get £50 credited to our account, so it's worth doing. But yeah, it's a great tariff. I've given some consideration to using some of the other ones that are available, but at the moment this one serves me the best. Perhaps next year, when I've got the heat pump installed and everything, I might consider their new heat pump tariff, but I'll look into that more around that time. But at the moment, Octopus Go is the best for me. If prices start coming down back to more what they used to be, then the Agile tariff might work quite well too. But at the moment, I like the predictability of Go. And then we've got generated power, 15%. That's obviously all the power that we made from the solar, so that's free. And then we've got a small amount that was free from the grid, and that's during the power hour. That is a trial thing that Octopus do for certain people who've enrolled on it. Just it's an experiment thing they're trying, I think. So I happen to be on that, and in that 1 hour period I managed to use as much as I can, but that costs nothing. And then we've got this expensive grid usage, so 56 kilowatt hours is quite a lot this month. We definitely ran out on a few days. It's been so grey, and even with all the batteries charged, once you've done had to do some washing and had to put the tumble dryer on, and run the oven and stuff. We have run out a few times. So in the evening we have had to draw a little bit from the grid, and that would have been during the expensive time. So yeah, this is a bit higher than normal. Ideally I'd like that to be 0, but we'll see in the half-hourly breakdown graph that comes in a moment what days it was that we ran out and where we had to start pulling from the grid. So we'll have a look at that in a moment. But yeah, that's the breakdown of our electricity usage. So you see, for the most part, it was either cheap or free. Only 4.3% of it was at the high rate. And then here is a breakdown of where all the power that we used in the house went. And you can see that the cars, the Tesla and the Leaf, are making up more than half of our total power usage, closely followed by the immersion, which takes another 16%. So between those three, heating the hot water and running the 2 cars, we're looking at nearly 3/4 of all of our power usage in the house. And then the last quarter is really just made up of the usual dishwasher, kettle, gaming is a bit bigger this month, washing machine, and you can see the tumble dryer has got quite a wedge this time in the pie. It's been so grey, we've had to resort to using the tumble dryer to try and get some of the washing dried out, especially as my son came back from university for Christmas. So he brought all of his washing home with him, as they do, and so we had to get through all of that as well. So we had a big load of washing that we just ran out of places to hang indoors, so we had to use the tumble dryer. Yep, and that's it. So let's now take a look at the bar charts that show electricity usage broken down into half-hour chunks for December, and we can see that it's mostly during that cheap rate time through December. We did pretty well considering, but there you can see here on the 11th we ran out of power at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon and had to start pulling from the grid. And then again on the 18th, we ran out at about 2:30 in the afternoon. And again there on the 19th, and a little bit on the 20th as well. That was the power hour. And again we ran out on the 25th. And on New Year's as well, New Year's Eve. So there you go. That's the breakdown of of our usage. So probably the worst December I think I can remember in terms of grid pull. Normally we make it through quite well, but things have just gotten on top this year, and with me being one battery down as well, because I had to take one of my pylon techs out because it just stopped working. Then we're down on a little bit of capacity as well. So all of those things together I think have just conspired to mean we've got to pull a little bit more from the grid. But that's it for that data. Let's have a quick look at the shed batteries. We can see that they are all pretty much in line. They're quite low at the moment, 3.5 volts, so try and charge them up tonight and from the grid so that they don't get too low. There's not enough coming from the solar panels on the roof of the shed to keep them as high as they need to be. So have to grid charge them every sort of 2 or 3 days or so. Right, that's it for this month. So how does that compare to your month? Please let me know in the comments what was your best and worst day, and where you are in the country. It's quite interesting for me to compare with my results. And like I say, this is probably the last video that I will do in this format. I think next month I'm going to try and do something, or next year I'll try and do something a little bit different with some information that's maybe more applicable to people, more based around costs and finances and things like that. So hopefully that will be coming at the end of January. I've still got to do my yearly roundup, which I will do in the next week or so, hopefully, with a comparison of the year just gone, 2022, compared to previous years, to see how things are changing. But that's it for this video. So thanks for watching. Please do like, comment, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching my channel in 2022, and yeah, please keep watching in 2023. There'll be more to come. Happy New Year to you all, and I'll see you all on the next video. Cheers.